Los Angeles, the city of angels, a city where, beneath the glow of Hollywood neon and its tall palm trees, a deep darkness is sleeping. Every year, millions of young people come here with big dreams. Some become stars, and some simply disappear. January 2013. Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old Canadian girl, steps off an Amtrak train at Union Station with a backpack and a heart full of hope. She is a student at the University of British Columbia, a smart, sensitive, and slightly fragile girl. She had named this trip her West Coast Tour. It was supposed to be a journey to find herself, a journey to escape academic pressure and maybe to escape the voices that sometimes echoed in her head. 1, 2. Elisa was alone. And being alone in a city like Los Angeles can be the most dangerous travel companion. She called her family every day, every single day. Her mother in Vancouver waited to hear her daughter's voice saying, "Mom, I'm fine. Today, I went to Santa Monica. Today, I went to the library." But Elisa did not know that these daily calls would soon turn into a terrifying silence. A silence that would turn the LAPD, the FBI, and the internet upside down. 3, 1. For her stay in Los Angeles, she chose a place that was cheap, a place in the heart of downtown, an old hotel with Art Deco architecture and a grand lobby, the Cecil Hotel. 2, 3. Let's talk a bit about the place Elisa walked into, because in criminal cases, sometimes the place is a killer on its own. The Cecil Hotel, built in the 1920s. Once, this hotel was the pearl of downtown, but in 2013, the Cecil was just a shadow of its former self. 2. This 14-story building sits near the Skid Row neighborhood. If you don't know Los Angeles, Skid Row is the scariest 4 square miles in America, a place where thousands of homeless people, addicts, and mentally ill individuals live in tents. 4. And the Cecil sits right on the edge of this hell. 4, 2. The history of this hotel is not something you write in tourist brochures. In the 1980s, a notorious serial killer, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, lived on the 14th floor of this very hotel. At night he would go out, kill people, and return to his room at the Cecil in bloody clothes. 5, 2. A few years later, Jack Unterweger, an Austrian serial killer, stayed here and strangled sex workers in his room. 2. The suicides were so many that locals called the Cecil the hotel where people go to die. 2. Elisa Lam, a 21-year-old student, stepped into such a place. She took a room on the 5th floor, room 506. At first, it was a shared, hostel-style room with some other girls. 1, 2. But something was not right. Elisa's roommates later told the police that her behavior was strange. She left notes on the others' beds saying, "Go away." She would lock the room door and not let anyone in. Her behavior swung wildly. One moment cheerful, the next moment paranoid. Hotel management was forced to move her. They transferred Elisa to a private room. Now Elisa was completely alone, in a small room, in a hotel whose walls had trapped 100 years of moans inside them. 6, 2. January 31st, 2013. The day of the disappearance. Let's reconstruct this day. That morning, Elisa went to a famous bookstore near the hotel, the Last Bookstore. The manager, Katie, later recalled seeing Elisa. She said Elisa was happy. She was buying souvenirs for her family, books and music. 3. She had told Katie, "I'm going home. These books are for my brother." There was no sign of depression, fear, or suicidal intent in her. She was a girl shopping for her future. So what happened? That evening, Elisa returned to the hotel. She was seen in the hotel lobby, but the usual phone call to her mother never happened. 5 p.m., 6 p.m., 8 p.m. The phone in the Vancouver home does not ring. Elisa's parents become worried. This girl never skipped her calls. The next day, February 1st, still no news. The Lam family calls the LAPD. Our daughter is missing. 1, 3. Police enter the hotel. They search Elisa's room. Everything is there. Her wallet, her ID, her laptop, her clothes, and even her prescription glasses. This is very important. Elisa had poor eyesight. Without her glasses, she couldn't see properly. Why would someone leave their room without glasses, without money, and without identification? Police bring in cadaver dogs, K9. The dogs follow her scent to a window leading to the fire escape. But it ends there. It is as if Elisa evaporated into thin air. 2. There is no trace, no witnesses. The lobby cameras recorded her entering, but not leaving. She was inside the hotel. But where in the hotel? A week passes. Still no news. The LAPD, under media pressure, decides to release the last piece of evidence it has. Maybe someone has seen something. They upload a 4-minute CCTV video from the Cecil Hotel elevator to the internet. And that was the moment this case turned from an ordinary missing person case into the scariest mystery on the internet. 3. Let's look closely at this video. Date: February 1st, or just past midnight on January 31st. Elisa enters the elevator. She is wearing a red zip-up hoodie, a gray skirt, sandals, and she is not wearing her glasses. She bends down and presses the elevator buttons. A whole row of buttons. Pay attention. She presses the buttons, but the elevator door does not close. Elisa steps back and curls up in the corner of the elevator, as if she wants to hide from someone's sight. A few seconds pass. The door is still open. She gets up, carefully pokes her head out of the elevator, and looks left and right down the hallway. Quickly comes back inside. Fear ripples through her body language. She is scared. But of what? The hallway is empty. The camera shows no one else. Now comes the strangest part. Elisa steps out of the elevator. She stands to the left, beside the door, and begins to move in a way no one has ever fully explained. She waves her hands in the air, as if she is swimming, or maybe talking to someone invisible. She opens and closes her fingers in a strange way, rubs her feet together. Her movements are soft and unnatural, like the dance of a marionette. Then she leaves. She walks down the left side of the hallway and out of the camera's frame. And suddenly, the elevator door closes. The elevator, which up to that moment seemed broken, starts working as soon as Elisa leaves. It goes to different floors, and its doors open and close. It is as if the elevator had been waiting for Elisa to go. 3. This video was viewed millions of times on YouTube. Thousands analyzed it frame by frame. Some said she was talking to her killer. Some said she had gone insane. Some said she was communicating with the ghosts of the Cecil Hotel. And others noticed that the video had been tampered with. Yes, the timestamp in the video was blurred, and several seconds appeared to be missing. A jump cut. Why would the police censor the video of a missing girl? What were they hiding? Was someone else on that floor? Someone the police didn't want us to see? 4. 2. The LAPD searched the entire hotel. They opened every room, checked under beds, searched the closets. They even went up to the roof. A police helicopter swept the Cecil's roof with powerful searchlights. Officers walked across the roof with flashlights. They saw the large water tanks, 4 huge cylindrical containers. Did they climb up and look inside the tanks? Reports are conflicting. Some say they looked and saw nothing. Others say they just checked around them. In any case, the result of the search was 0. Elisa Lam was not in the hotel, not on the street, not in the hospitals. 3. 2. The city filled with posters. Asian female, 5'4", 110 pounds, last seen at the Cecil Hotel. Her family came from Canada. They cried at a press conference. Her father said, Elisa was a happy girl. She would not kill herself. Homicide detectives took over the case. When a file goes to homicide, it means the police smell blood. They started interrogating hotel staff and the strange residents of the hotel. One internet suspect was a metal musician named Morbid, who had previously stayed at the Cecil and posted videos with themes of death and murder. The internet attacked him. But at the time of Elisa's disappearance, he was not even in the United States. He was in Mexico. 7. 5. So who is the real suspect? Or what is it? 2 weeks passed. Hope faded. Guests at the Cecil Hotel started to notice something. A small problem with the hotel's plumbing. First, the water pressure dropped. Then, the color of the water changed. It turned black, sometimes brown. And its taste, hotel guests later said in interviews, the water tasted strange. It was sweet, and it smelled bad. 8. 6. Unbelievably, people showered in this water for days, brushed their teeth with it, and even drank it. They did not know they were using water that had dissolved a terrifying secret inside it. 6. 8. In the next part, the secret hidden in the water will be revealed, and we enter a stage where forensic science and police logic face questions that might never be answered. How can a slim girl open the heavy lid of a water tank, climb inside, and then close the lid behind her? Was Elisa Lam murdered, or did she become a victim of her own mind? To be continued. 9. 2. February 19, 2013. 19 days have passed since Elisa's disappearance. The Cecil Hotel is still full of guests, tourists who came to see Los Angeles and have no idea they are staying in a kind of hell. But complaints are building up. In the hotel lobby, a line of angry guests has formed. Their complaints are strange and nauseating. The shower water pressure is really low. The tap water is black. When I turn the tap on, brown water comes out at first, and then it clears up. And worst of all, a British couple later told CNN, the water had a sweet and very strange taste. Sweet taste. In forensic science, that particular flavor is a sign of something no one wants to know. The taste of decomposing human tissue. 8. 6. The hotel management, under pressure, finally decides to do something. They send Santiago Lopez, a maintenance worker, to check the rooftop water tanks. 10. Lopez takes the elevator, goes to the 15th floor, climbs the stairs to the roof, disarms the alarm door, and steps onto the rooftop. In front of him stand 4 huge cylindrical tanks. Each holds about 3,000 liters of water. Their height is about 3 meters. Lopez notices that the hatch on one of the tanks is open. He sets up a ladder, climbs up, and looks inside the tank. The scene Lopez saw became the nightmare of his life. Elisa Lam. She was there, floating in the water, face up, her body bloated and turned a greenish-blue color from decomposing in the water. And stranger still, she was naked. Her clothes, the same red hoodie, skirt, and underwear, were floating separately beside her body, along with her watch and hotel room keycard. Lopez, horrified, climbs down and calls the police. The 19-day nightmare was over, but a new nightmare began. How? 6. 2. Before getting to the autopsy, we need to examine the engineering of this death, because this is where common sense stops. Let's go up to the roof together. The Cecil's water tanks sit on concrete platforms. To reach the hatch at the top of a tank, you need to climb a ladder. The tank hatch is heavy, metal, and large. But here is the key point. When Lopez found the body, he said the hatch was open. However, the police's early statements to the media mistakenly said the hatch was closed. This small error gave birth to thousands of conspiracy theories. People said, if Elisa went in by herself, How could she close the heavy hatch above her from inside the water? It's impossible. But the truth, according to the final court findings, was that the hatch was open, so Elisa could have entered by herself. 7. 2. But the main question still remains. Elisa, a girl who did not even have her glasses on, how did she manage in the darkness of night to find the complex route to the roof? There are two ways to reach the roof. One, the alarm door. If someone opens it without a special key, a loud alarm sounds through the hotel and the front desk is alerted. That night, no alarm went off. 2, the fire escape. These stairs are on the outside of the building. If Elisa went out through her room window or the hallway window, she could have climbed the slippery metal ladders. A very dangerous act for a student girl at night without glasses. And then she would have to climb the 3-meter tank ladder, open the hatch, and jump into the cold, dark water. Why? Why would anyone do that? To escape from someone? Or to hide from something only she could see? 10. 2. Recovering the body was a complex engineering operation of its own. The hatch at the top of the tank was too small for the fire department rescue team to enter with diving gear and pull the body out. They had to drain the entire tank. The water that had held the body for 19 days was sent into the city's sewer system. Then, using hydraulic cutting tools, they cut and opened the tank's metal walls so they could remove Elisa's body. This process took hours, and all the while, news helicopters circled above the hotel broadcasting live. 2. 3. The body was taken to the Los Angeles County Coroner's office. Everyone waited. The world waited. Was there evidence of sexual assault? Any knife wounds or signs of strangling? Had she used drugs? The final autopsy report was released in June, and the result confused everyone. 1 cause of death: accidental drowning. 2 signs of trauma: negative. There were no signs of bruising, fractures, ligature marks, or defensive wounds on Elisa's body, even under her fingernails, where a victim's nails often hold the attacker's DNA. There was nothing. 3 sexual assault: negative. The rape kit found no evidence of sexual attack. 4 toxicology. And this is the most important part. Had Elisa used drugs? Meth? Cocaine? Hallucinogens? Answer: negative. There were no traces of street drugs or alcohol in her blood. 11, 12, 9. But one thing was there, or rather, one thing was missing. Elisa Lam had bipolar disorder. She was supposed to be taking 4 medications: an antidepressant, like Wellbutrin, an antipsychotic, like Seroquel, a mood stabilizer, like Lamictal. Blood tests showed that the levels of these drugs in her system were very low, especially the antipsychotic. The coroner concluded that in her final days, Elisa either had not taken her pills or had taken too few. Undermedicated. Sudden stopping of these medications can cause a psychotic episode, a state in which the patient suffers intense delusions, hears voices that do not exist, sees pursuers that are only shadows. 12, 13, 11. So the official police theory took shape. Because she stopped her medication, Elisa experienced an acute psychotic break. She thought someone was chasing her, as seen in her elevator behavior. She ran up to the roof, and to hide from an imaginary enemy, she took shelter in the safest place her mind could imagine, inside the water tank. But once she went in, she could not get out. The water level was too low for her to reach the hatch. She could not pull herself up the smooth, slippery sides. She struggled for hours in that absolute darkness, in the cold water, treading water, until she became exhausted and slipped under. 11. 2. Was the case closed? On paper, yes, but not in people's minds. There are still questions that steal sleep from the eyes. If Elisa removed her own clothes, the paradoxical undressing phenomenon in hypothermia, where a freezing person feels falsely warm and undresses. Why weren't the clothes neatly folded? Why was her cell phone never found? She always carried everything with her. So where is her phone? And that elevator video? If she was alone, why didn't the elevator move? Elevator specialists say maybe she pressed the door hold button. But in the video, she presses many buttons. Could someone in the elevator control room have been holding the elevator? And why did the police tamper with the video's timestamp? 10:2. Perhaps the most chilling theory is about a medical test. At the same time Elisa was at the hotel, there was a tuberculosis outbreak in the Skid Row area. What is the name of the test used to diagnose TB? Believe it or not, the test is called LAM Elisa Lam. Lam Elisa. Is this just a cosmic coincidence? Or was Elisa part of something bigger? A bioweapon? Or just the victim of a coincidence of letters and numbers? 14, 15, 4. In the final part, we want to put all the puzzle pieces together, from the eerie parallels between the horror film Dark Water and this case, to Elisa's last blog posts that may hold the key. And finally, is the Cecil Hotel truly cursed? Stay with us. 5, 2. Let's assume science is wrong. Let's, for a moment, travel to the darkest corners of the internet. After the elevator video was released, internet users noticed a strange pattern in Elisa's actions. She pressed the buttons, not randomly, but with a certain rhythm. A terrifying theory emerged: the elevator game. A Korean urban legend that says if, in a building with at least 10 floors, you press the buttons in a specific order, 4 June 2nd, 2010-5, the elevator will take you to the other world. A world that looks like ours, but is darker, colder, and empty. And the only sign is this: on the 5th floor, a woman will enter that you must not look at. What floor was Elisa on? The 5th. Was she playing the game? Was she trying to escape to another world? Her hand movements, those strange twists of her wrists and fingers, as if she was caressing something in the air that we could not see. Did she succeed? Was the door that opened for her not the door to the roof, but a doorway to another dimension? 16, 17. And this is not the only strange coincidence. Hollywood predicted this death years earlier. The film Dark Water, released in 2005, tells the story of a mother living with her daughter in an old apartment building. The similarities make your hair stand on end. The girl's name in the film, Cecilia. The hotel's name, Cecil. In the film, the elevator is broken and doesn't work. In the film, black, foul-smelling water comes from the taps. And the film's ending, the little girl's body is found in a water tank on the roof. 18. 5. How is that possible? Was Elisa's life copied from a horror film? Or was there a killer who wanted to recreate the final scene of the movie in real life? But let's step away from movies and listen to Elisa herself. Elisa Lam was an active blogger. She wrote on Tumblr and Blogspot. Her blog's name, Nouvelle Nouveau. Her writings are a window into her soul, a soul in pain. She wrote, "I'm drowning in myself. Some days I feel like I'm going crazy. I hear voices." And the sentence that might be the key: I am both bipolar and depressed. That means I want to conquer the world and die in my bed at the same time. 10. 1. What shocked the police was this: Elisa's blog kept updating even after her death. For months after her body was found, new posts about fashion, clothing, and philosophical quotes appeared on her blog. People panicked. Elisa is alive. The killer is playing with us. But the answer was simple and bitter. Elisa used the queue system. She had scheduled hundreds of photos and texts to be posted automatically months in advance. This means that even while her body was decomposing in cold water, her digital ghost was still talking about beauty and life. 1. 10. Now, with all the evidence we have, police reports, autopsy, mental health, let's reconstruct the final minutes of Elisa Lam's life. No ghosts, no killer, just Elisa and her illness. Around 2 a.m., Elisa has stopped taking her medication. Her brain, now without its chemical shield, enters a phase of mania and paranoia. She hears voices. She believes someone is following her. She rushes into the elevator to escape, presses the buttons. But the Cecil's elevators are old. The door hold button sticks. Or maybe she herself presses it. The door does not close. Elisa's paranoid mind sees this as a sign of an enemy. They've hacked the elevator to trap me. She steps out, talks to invisible beings. Leave me alone. What do you want from me? She runs to the stairwell, higher and higher, toward the moonlight. The roof. She thinks she's still being chased. She must hide, somewhere no one can see. The water tank. She climbs the ladder. The hatch is open. The sound of water. Water means safety. Water means silence. She enters the tank. Her clothes get wet and heavy. She takes them off to move more easily. The water is cold, but for now, she is relieved. She no longer hears the voices. But when she tries to get out, the water level is about half a meter below the hatch. The tank walls are slick and slimy. There is nothing to grab onto. She jumps. She can't reach. She screams, but her voice is smothered by the thick metal walls. And the Cecil Hotel, with its thousands of guests beneath her, keeps sleeping. 11. 2. The Elisa Lam case is the saddest case on the internet. Not because it was never solved, but because it was solved, and we did not want to accept it. We wanted a serial killer, or evil spirits, because accepting that the human mind can do this to itself is even more terrifying. After this incident, the Cecil Hotel rebranded. Now it is called Stay on Main. They tried to erase the past, but they can't. Even now, when you walk down Main Street and look up at that 14-story building, your eyes are drawn to the water tanks on the roof, the place where Elisa Lam, in search of safety, fell into the arms of death. Elisa Lam's death was not murder. It was not suicide either. It was a tragic accident. The tragedy of a girl who wanted to see the world.